UFOs up here on the mountain, everybody. So we shall see what we find. Let's go ahead and take a look, see if this dumb phone camera will show us. Okay, let's go over here to the moon. Actually, gotta walk this way. Got my table set up. I don't think you see the moon anymore. There it is. Okay. That's the moon. There's a cloud below it as all. You can't hardly even see that moon very well. I was just checking to see if we can, what the visibility is on this, on the mountain. I know my camps, it's our last day up here. We're going to be going out west after this to the land of giants, killer of giants by Ozzy Osbourne. So let's, here's pine trees. So you guys all know I'm here. I'm not joshing you. We can't see much through this stupid camera. I had two lights that went across the sky, but I really don't think they're UFOs. They were just satellites. Huh. Can't see nothing. This is the stupid thing about this camera. There's a jet going above me. You can barely see it blinking. But without having some kind of high def, we're just not going to be able to see them. And then again, you know, with all this air traffic, there's two jets in the distance. There's one jet over there blinking. I can't even see him through the camera. This is stupid. There's two of them over there. Dang. Well, I thought maybe if I just gave it a little bit of time, it would, the camera, and it got darker, you could see the sky a little better than this, but there's not going to happen. Huh. Well, that sucks. Well, being on an archery hunt, you can't have any kind of real weapon other than a bow, and if you're going to try to fight anything off, you ain't gonna, your bow ain't gonna do you any damn good unless you're damn lucky. That's about all you expect. Those pines right there, pretty, ain't it? I'll still keep an eye out as we're sitting here. My camera's been acting up. Night. What's your name? Is Kajan? I guess I say that's pretty cool. Player, pretty good. Just wish we would have went hunting elk out there, out west. And I'm a subsistence hunter. I'm not a trophy hunter. Channel's about aliens, the news, Wendigos, which is Algonquin. That's Algonquin spirit they call Wendigo. It's a being, and then the giants, which if I get out west, I have interests. I have rights out there. I have rights out on the Nevada border, so I'll be out there tomorrow night. But right now I'm up on the mountain. Check this out. It's pretty. This is where we're camped for the archery hunt. But tell you the story last weekend. So that's just a big meadow out that direction. Kind of show you that. It's really cold. It's been about a month and a half ago. We had an actual alien encounter up here. And I'll tell you the story. So we were in our trailer, of course. My wife wanted a little camp trailer, so I went and bought this for cheap. Let's just say cheap. The kid gave it to me. Young kid, really, really nice kid. But anyway, we were up there camped, and middle of the night, I heard something hit the trailer, just a loud boom. And my wife was yelling, Rick, 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 Rick. And she was seeing lights shining inside the trailer from all directions. But she was having a nightmare. She said it was a nightmare. Said she was trying to wake up from her dream. And I woke up to something hitting the trailer. I get nervous when I talk about this because it just gives me back to that night anyways. And anyway, I said, no, something hit the damn trailer. She said, I didn't hear that. So all I saw was lights in my dream shining inside the. Um, I also heard one of the barks. By the way, it barked from something weird up here the other day. But you guys hear that? Shoot. Uh, well, because I was involved in that crash, that the Vegas crash that happened a couple years ago with Angel Maytag. Angel Maytag in Vegas crashed in his backyard. I fuel and lube heavy equipment at night here in Utah by myself on job sites out west and all over Iron County. There's one going right there. It's just disappeared. Shoot. That one went behind the clouds. Son of a. You don't have to worry about these till they start going right and left, and then when they start stopping, that's when you're in trouble. But anyway, that's the moon. So when Angel Maytag, when they crashed in Vegas, they were here in Iron County, Utah. There's a job site we can't talk about. It's a factory that was being built, and they hired security, and they had the guy actually come on the show. No, Angel Maytag is a victim of circumstances, nothing to do with him. I'd like to apologize to Angel Maytag because it wasn't his fault. They landed in his backyard. They were here first. The guy that showed up, oh, good, Scott. Anyway, the guy that was security guard showed up about the video I did last month, and he came on and he asked me if I was out by some railroad tracks. I said yes. He says I was a security guard that was there. He wouldn't have known about the railroad tracks unless I told him. And the problem is people don't understand. When I talked to that security guard, they had chased that alien, that 9-foot tall alien, around the back. I think it was April, very end of April. Was chasing it, and them seen it. Took a picture of it. It blew the power box up. He came to me, stopped me. I was fueling equipment. He said, "Do you see anything out here?" I said, "I tweakers and a big deer." "Yeah, that's all you seen?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You're not afraid of nothing out here?" I said, "No." He says, "Why?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Look at this." He showed me a picture of it. And it was that damn 9-foot tall frickin' bug. I said, you're right there with me, buddy. You're right there. I understand you. You understand me now, don't you? But I was the guy I was out there at the next job site in July. They disabled the truck. They ripped the PTO wire off the bottom of my engine. It goes to my PTO pump that overrides the shutoff, automatic shutoff. Damaged the vehicle. I seen it. I seen a couple of them. Ran in front of my headlights while I was fueling. And I'm not as bad off as Angel. It's affected that kid. And I'm sorry for that. But it's not his rodeo. It was an accident. So I've been there. He's got a long, tough road to hoe now because he doesn't trust being in the dark, I guarantee it. We're losing. When I was 15, I actually had an armed standoff with one. Me and a kid named Jesse above Wallsburg, Utah, on the elk hunt rifle, and we beat it. Oh yeah, it was. We had 7 mags. We was 2 kids. We watched it hover above the town of Wallsburg. We were up on the ridges above Deer Creek, and it was hovering above Wallsburg. It's just a silverish gold flying saucer, just the dumbass flying saucers you see all the old movies. And it started coming towards us. And Jess said, "What do we do?" I said, "Well, get ready." We were only kids. We didn't deserve to go through that. I look back and I think about that first fight with him, and I never deserved that as a kid. All we were doing was we were just hunting elk. We weren't trying to cause trouble. It come at us, and we had our scopes trained on it and had to keep bringing the power down because I had a 12 power scope on a old 7 mag. It was one of the first 7 mags I ever made. I bought it with my own money. I brought my scope down so I could keep it in my scope, it came right at us, and then we put our guns down and just stood there like two warrior poets, two young kids going, well, where are we going to go from here? And it just spun right next to us and just darted off. That's the first time we had a fight with them, but never did shoot. Should have shot. I look back now, I think I should have shot. If they're hostile or not, the son bitch was coming at us. We didn't just kids. We didn't deserve any of that stuff. Both of us come from broken homes. We didn't have, my grandpa was raising me. Jesse, his family was so damn dysfunctional, we couldn't even, he didn't have a proper home at 16 years old. He was 16, I was 15. Both of us were just with the heavy metal and rock and having a blast in life. But man, we sure grew up poor. But that day, we won that fight. We weren't going to back down or run. We stood our ground against a real flying saucer during the day. And ever since then, it's been downhill. I used to think they were bears. I used to believe they were bears. I always thought they was bears. They were after me. They're not bears. I'm looking up here. I can't see nothing tonight. Maybe, just maybe, we'll have a good night and not have to worry about having some kind of stupid fight because all he got's a stupid bow up here. Everybody trying to pull back a compound bow inside of a trailer. Good luck. Especially one that size. That's a story, everybody. It's not a story, it's real. You can't ever escape it. And I feel sorry for Angel Maytag. The rest of his life, he's never going to know what it's like to be confident in your superiority as a human being. Somehow you're safe wherever you go at night, especially like on the mountain. There's no such thing for Angel Maytag or for me. We can never go back. Those of you who haven't seen one, I'm glad. I'm glad to that point. I'd like to get on video for you. But that's a nice moon out there. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. I don't like these deep fakes. I don't like all people that are bringing up bull crap like making stuff up and trying to get clickbait off something that's damaged me the rest of my life. I never had a chance to grow up to believe that there's nothing. To believe there's nothing out there. Just to wake up and look at the sky and say, there's no way nothing's going to mess with me. I'm on the mountain. I got to deal with it every day of my life, every night. Boogeyman's real. People just don't believe in it. They just, best that way. I think it's better for a lot of you not to even know about UFOs and just keep thinking they're fake or they're not real and say aliens don't exist, because they're never the same. Going on George Norrie or Coast to Coast or any of that stuff and go tell them to their faces, look at all of them and just say, you know what? It doesn't matter what you guys talk about, if it's real or not. Until they see it, they're not going to believe in it. There's a reason to stay out of the woods at night. Yeah. Well, I'm doing this video because, sharing this right there, that moonlight right tonight through the pine trees up on top of a mountain at 10,000 feet is a pretty cool thing. I mean, you can try to zoom in on that. A lot of people never see this stuff. They never get to see anything like this or hear these stories, and they're just going to die with people like me. I can barely breathe. I got asthma so bad. There's nothing I can do. I'm only going to be here for a time. When somebody sees one or hears something or has an encounter, they're going to wonder, where do I go? What do I do? And I'm just going to tell them the same thing. They're going to maybe look back at this video and say, I knew a man that actually did win a standoff with an actual flying saucer, not a UFO, not a supposed light in the sky. I heard the story of something that happened in 1989 that was actually the War of the Worlds. I don't know what had happened if me and Jess would have ran, or if we'd have not showed, if we wouldn't have pointed our guns at it the whole time. It might have done something completely different, because it came at us. It wasn't like it was trying to leave. Oh, I do believe in Jesus, Susan. I'm definitely a strict follower in Christ. I believe these are angels or demons. There's one or the two. Right? They're angels or demons. Can't have it both ways, people. You gotta have one or the other. Because the only reason why they'd be here would be like the Watchers. It's like Geronimo and the Watchers. They buried his dad. Or they're demonic entities, and people just, that when you do see them, they just disappear, die of a heart attack. Think about tonight, I ain't got no gun. I'll give you some advice, everybody, as they go with this. Yeah, they're like the Nephilim. They're the ones that took the daughters of man. I don't think they're the Nephilim. I think this is the angels that came down here. Or they're the angels God sending, or Christ is sending to harvest the wicked. They're just about ready to do it. I'll tell you something creepy about them. I'm looking at that star right there. They traveled millions of miles and they don't open your door. Just like on Scary Movie. These creatures, these beings, traveled millions of freaking miles. And I've had them not open my door. I've had them beat on. Oh, I didn't tell you a story about I was parked in my Pathfinder on the other side of the highway on the Zion unit. And there's no cabins or nothing around over there, or anywhere around here except for over by the brakes. It beat on the sides of my truck, the front and the back of my Xterra. Went round and around my vehicle, knocking. About midnight. And it wouldn't come in. It wouldn't open the door. I locked the doors with my feet and my hands, and I was laying in the back of my Xterra sideways, or my Pathfinder, old Pathfinder, 1995 Pathfinder. And it wouldn't open the door. The back hatch doesn't close. It doesn't lock. The hatch on my Pathfinder doesn't close. It's been about 10 years ago. Well, I don't know if it was before my mother died. It might have been 13 years ago. But it wouldn't come in. It just kept being on the front and the back of my Pathfinder. So my brother, I just told my friends that I said, if I thought it was them. I told them, "You're lucky I ain't got a gun." I yelled it because they were both sleeping in their vehicles. And anyway, my brother camped over there on the Elk Rifle, and him and my uncle are sitting there at camp, and they looked up and they seen a flying saucer above them, darting between the clouds, and my brother had the binoculars around his neck, and my uncle grabbed him so hard about choked him, and was looking at it, and then they took turns looking at it, crossing back and forth in the sky through the clouds. And they waited one day. They both came to me and said, "Rick, we got to talk to you about something." I said, "What?" They said, "Well, what do they look like?" "This one's a bug. It looks like a giant bug. The weirdest damn thing. It's got a long neck, round head, long arms. But it's like it's what you'd call a Wendigo, but it didn't have antlers. The Algonquins believe they have antlers, but they believe that's from cannibals, natives that ate cannibals back in the day. But they look like that. These are something I've never even imagined. Didn't think that they'd look like that when they got out of their ship. If I don't know what they look like and what they are and how big they are, I thought they were little gray aliens. I've always heard about gray aliens. I've never heard about these giant bugs. But anyway, they told me about it. They said, "We got to talk." They said, "We believe you." I said, "You guys believe me? How do you do that?" "Yeah, a giant bug. Ugliest humanoid looking bug you'd ever seen. This thing had a deep chest, like a greyhound. Weird, real sucked in pelvic bone where the pelvic was. And it has these knees. It's like the knees like ours, but it's got like a dog's or a rabbit's leg. So there's one of them going right there. That might be one of those satellites from the Big Dipper. We'll have to see. I'm literally standing out here just to tell you, I've had these things doing things to me, trying to get me to come out. And that one's going, it's going straight lined. Okay, it's just a satellite. But anyway, it's got a foot like a rabbit. It's like their knee goes, their back end goes like this, and then it goes back to a knee, like, so it'd be like, jump across. Yeah, it came, deer go like this, deer and elk come back, their knee comes back like this. Went around its buttocks, knee there, came back to ankle, but it had a foot like a grasshopper, and it can jump. Oh, can it jump? The damn thing disabled my work truck. In the morning, they really had to fix my truck. The plug was yanked out of my 52,000-pound truck. Well, Susan, I'm in Hell's Kitchen right now. Thanks for believing me. If I had my shotgun up here, my Caltech with double-aught buck, I'd probably shoot that giant right between the eyes. If the night beats on the trailer. I could be the killer of giants, but I'll tell you what, I just want to spend the night up here and not get attacked by nothing. Once you know, Susan, it's over. You'll never spend another night like this where I'm at right now. I'll be standing here without a gun, without any. I'm on Dixie National Forest, southern Utah. That's where they're at. They're right here by Cedar Breaks. There's one right there. Oh, there it is. Let's see if this sumbitch keeps going. I don't think you see him. Oh, he's low too. Barely can. You guys can't see it. Keep going, mister. I ain't got a gun. Yeah, you can't see it. It's a bluish. I don't know if I can zoom in on that. It better not stop. And it's above me. And it ain't that far up. Jeez, it's right there. See, I could say that's a satellite, and I'm glad. It went behind the clouds. I think it's a cloud there. Okay. We're good. We're good. Gosh, it's pretty out here, too. Yeah, they are everywhere, brother. They have the ability to travel in the sky. Nobody's safe. And this is one thing, too, Susan. If they take interest in you and you beat them, I've had an armed conflict with them and I beat them. But they could have killed me out there on those job sites, and they didn't. They watched me go on the equipment. Then they crash landed in Angel's backyard, and they ran over to his big loader and jumped up in it. Because that's what they follow me. But this started when I was a kid. I was a little teeny kid in American Fork, Utah. My dad was a Vietnam vet. My mom was a half-breed. Throwaway. Her dad abandoned her sisters and moved to Walla Walla, Washington from Oklahoma. He left my mother and her sisters. Her sister died. A man killed her, rolled the truck, said, "I'm going to kill y'all," and he rolled the truck and killed my aunt. Her head went out the door and it cut her head off. My mom and my dad were there. Where was my grandpa? You know, he left. He didn't care. He was the meanest thing, man. But anyway, I was just a little kid, and there was violence and alcoholism, Vietnam vet style. I think we've all been their way if you're my age. Yeah, it was bad. Well, you know, you're born to a half-breed mother, and the Cheyenne that adopted my mom. He was adopted. Call him Kid New York. He sparred with Cassius Clay. Muhammad Ali had, my grandma had the picture in the front room. But he was Cheyenne. His parents were killed in Colorado, I think. Then he got adopted by a New York family. Then they moved to California. And anyway, he died too. So my mom, we were raised really bad. My dad was violent. And then anyway, I was a kid and I was in the kitchen and I opened up the back screen door. We had 60 acres. I walked outside and it was literally like Close Encounters of the Third Kind or one of those scary movies. I opened the door and there's a flying saucer sitting out there hovering above the backfield, and that's the last thing I remember. Right around the time Elvis died. I remember when Elvis died, I was a little teeny kid. My mom was crying and I just couldn't understand why she was crying. Had the record player. Oh, I better go over here. If you're gonna go to the bathroom, I'm on a video. Yeah, I better. We're not gonna use the we should use the plumbing and just take it down there to the dump it. Anyway, I remember my mother crying when I was a kid, and I couldn't figure out why she was crying. It just really, that's my dog. Where are you going, Avy? I couldn't know why she was crying. Anyway, it was because Elvis died. We had the record player with the speakers on the side. Anyway, don't go too far. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. There's things out there. There's coyotes, but after that morning when I was a kid, all this ended. For me, it never went back to the same thing. Never had a chance again. Never had a chance to be normal. I gotta find out where my dog went real quick. But I saw the flying saucer. That's the last thing I remembered. All the on the table, all the kitchen chairs were stacked on top of the table. And me and my brother were just like, 5 years old and 7. We couldn't do it. All the dishes were out of the cupboard, so stacked on the counter. This is 1970, probably 79, whatever. That was the first thing I remember as a kid, really. I had a lot of memories as a kid, violent memories, but the UFO stuck in my head, the flying saucer. I don't believe in the Tic Tacs. I really don't. I don't believe in any of the Tic Tacs. Oh, you're Cherokee. Yeah, it seems like I got a lot of natives. Come on here. It's awesome. 1963. We don't know if I was abducted. I have no idea. I know that from that day forward, my mom said I changed a lot. I changed a lot. She said I'd go out in the fields and she'd have to drag me back. I became wild as a wild kid, just like I'd always be hunting her. She'd have to bring me out of the fields at night, and I'd always go in the mountains. My grandpa, I lived with my grandpa in Alpine. He ended up raising me. And he was Sergeant U.S. Army, World War II. And he was a drill sergeant, too, after he was wounded. And he used to say, "Get up, you little Indian." And I'd get up and I'd smile at him, and he'd have me a cup of coffee at like 10 years old. He'd have a cup of coffee sitting on the table. And yeah, something was different. Well, when I'd go to sleep at night, some nights, even the dead of winter, my grandpa would wake up and he'd find I wasn't in bed. He was scared because I'd leave as a little kid. He'd find my tracks in the snow. And I'd go up in the oak brush above Alpine, Utah, above the house. He'd just find me out there. It scared him why I did these things. At night, I'd be sitting up watching a TV that wasn't even on. Happened for a long, long time. Yeah, something was different. And then after that standoff above Wallsburg, Utah, when I was 15, I had a few other encounters that were pretty nasty, but I always thought they were bears. I always thought I had problems with bears, and they're not bears. Starting to understand this. We're heading out there tomorrow to the place of giants. Remember, Ozzy Osbourne just passed away? I was in the top 1% Aussie listeners out of 63 million people in the month he died, July. And he has that song, Killer of Giants. And we're going out there. Anyway, um, yeah, Elvis died. I couldn't, he was part too. He was a descendant. But I couldn't believe it. My mother was crying about this man. All I want to do is not see her cry. She's such a beautiful woman. They killed her. They killed my mother just before Russell Means died, throat cancer, 2012. Her anniversary of her death in about 5 days. She was 59. She's 8 years older than me right now. She went in for a shoulder surgery because her shoulder and her neck hurt. They screwed up her neck. They did a surgery on her neck, and she was such a great woman. Beautiful, even at 59. And all she ever wanted to do was have freedom and nice things. And she was so happy all the time. She always used to say, "Why are you so angry?" She always told me, "I'm half, you're a quarter. Why are you playing Indian all the time?" She always used to tell me, "Stop playing Indian." She said, "They're nothing but they're drunks and violent, people." Her dad and her dad and her stepdad were very violent people, and she used to tell me not to be like that because, in those days it was just alcoholism, violence. She'd always tell me that. She'd say, "Don't be like that." And they killed her with a shoulder surgery. She had a double pulmonary embolism, and I watched her die. She suffocated to death. And the doctors, their lawyers called me in. They made me go to a hotel to meet their lawyers, and they said to shut up, that they never killed my mom. They threatened me. Their punk ass, garbage pail kid, horrible creatures known as lawyers surrounded me alone and threatened me because they didn't take her off estrogen, which causes blood clots. It caused the death of my mom. They were denying it. And I was already hurt and angry, and then they threatened me if I sued them, they was going to sue me. Getting them on the ground here with me now, well, in those days back, 2012, I would have give anything to have them on the ground with me as two human beings going and settling their differences. The old way. Oh, wait. You lost one a long ago. I'll read and catch up on the comments in a second, but I just got to finish this. So the bastards, those bastards, those lawyers that get the innocent incarcerated and the guilty go free. They threatened me, and then they admitted their guilt in a lawsuit. But not to me. They killed her. They killed her. They didn't do it right. They should have took her off the medication that she was taking. They threatened me when I brought it up. My stepdad was suing them, not me. I still won't forget what they did to my mother. It would have been a simple thing, take her off the medication. She couldn't take estrogen. Estrogen causes blood clots. That's why it doesn't matter how big of a warrior you are. I know you'd be a native. It doesn't matter. It isn't the way. I could have been those people that said, "Oh, I'd rather to die in battle than grow old." Just like the soldiers, like my grandpa was a soldier, my dad was a soldier, my great grandpas were soldiers. My sons are soldiers. I'm the only one that's not a soldier. There ain't no way to settle these things with these people. There's things bigger than them here. There's things that they'll never know. Things that was waiting for us. I'd rather have a paradise than deal with this and try to get revenge on people. Let's read this. You guys' comments I can miss them. Let's go back. Okay. There's rumors that Elvis is still alive. Just recently, it's been talked about. I have heard about that. She did. All my battles and anger and growing up wanting to be here versus down doing what they tell you have to do. I never did conform to their stuff. I always laughed. When she died, I got called as an alternate. I put in for once in a lifetime wild bison on the Henry Mountains. I put in for 3 years. It took 25 years to draw that tag. I got a call as an alternate, and my kids' I can't say it, okay. So somebody got on drugs, had the once in a lifetime bison tag, 25 points, climbed a tree, called the police. They were on drugs and said the ground was on fire. They had to surrender their tag. I got a call from the DNR 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the November buffalo hunt. Bison, once in a lifetime, American bison, one of the only 2 herds here in Utah. And I always told my mother, I says, because she used to tell me to stop playing Indian. She'd be, stop playing Indian. I'm a half-breed, and my dad was violent. She says, you don't want to be like that. They called me as an alternate just after she died. And I used to tell her, you're going to hunt buffalo, Mom. You're back home with our people. Doesn't matter about the ones that are here now. It's the old ones that are gone. Says, you will hunt buffalo one day. And I got that call. And I hunted buffalo. And I rode with 25 buffalo. I counted them on the Henry Mountains. I rode with them. I had a bull buffalo, son on a 4-wheeler riding up a road, and there was a bull buffalo right by my left foot. I had a herd right in front of me. It was great. And the one thing I learned about hunting buffalo, I'm not those people. I'm not my ancestors. Yeah, I'm not as good as them. It's freezing up here. My grandpa died on Halloween too, and my mom met him and said he's the biggest Indian she ever met. She's scared of him. My great grandpa too said he was 6'9". My grandpa was 6'9". 2 of the biggest men she'd ever seen. She went to Walla Walla, Washington to meet him when she was 14, and she said she was scared to death and her appendix ruptured, and he took her to a medicine man instead of the hospital. The medicine man grabbed my mother. My grandpa was busy, grabbed my mother, ran her out the back door of the house, and my grandpa chased him down the road on foot, and I'd stop him, and he took my mom to the hospital and saved her life. Oldest son, Christopher, died 5. Oh, wow, he was in a mental prison. Massachusetts. Wow. I think I ought to fix those mental health things. It's misfiring in the brain. That's sad, Susan. Yeah, they killed my mother. They lied. They lied so bad they knew they did it. The lawyer was over the table yelling at me. Really destroyed me for a lot of years. I hunted that buffalo, and I learned one thing about life. My mother told me, she wanted me to have that buffalo hunt. I invited Russell Means to go buffalo hunt. I was messaging him on his email, let her walk the old ways. And I did Randy Newberg. His name's Randy Newberg, Fresh Tracks. He has a hunting channel. He sent me a nice email back, but I was waiting for Russell Means, but apparently he was in bad shape. He came to Utah for treatment, but I didn't know. Yeah. It is a quiet night. I have seen a couple things. I'm worried about that. Oh, shit, there's one right there. Oh, shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, that's got lights. It's got lights. It's got lights. Oh, good. Oh, so good. Oh, we're in great shape. That is so good. It comes through the clouds at me. I just looked that way. I can't zoom. I guess I am zoomed in all the way, apparently. He's shining through the clouds. Look at that. That's what they look like, everybody. That's what they would be. Oh, ho, 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 ho. My heart jumped. Oh, yes. A jet. Thank you. That was them. Oh, crap. I thought I was in deep trouble. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I don't have a gun. Oh, my gosh. There's a camp somewhere over here I ran into earlier. Oh, you should have seen it in real life. That was it. That was going to be another one. I was like, okay. Dixie National Forest by Brian Head. Oh, I'm shaking. I'm just shaking. That's what they look like when they shine the light on you, just like the fire in the sky guy. And see, where I had the standoff with that flying saucer back in 1989, it was in Heber, Utah, Heber City, Utah, and where the fire in the sky guy was abducted was Heber, Arizona. Okay, just so you guys all know, it was Heber, Arizona. I haven't seen a TR-3B. Have not. Oh, there's the coldest wind. Look. Oh, wow. That is a freaky wind. That is so freaky. I'm at 10,000 feet up here. This is undeveloped, this is just dispersed camping. It's just a mountain. Crap. I really wish we wouldn't have come. My wife wanted to come up tonight. It's scary. If I had a gun, it'd be different. Okay. I'm running out of breath. I probably got to go. I haven't seen it. What is it? Vehicle is shocking to see. I haven't. I believe it. The real UFOs, the real alien ships from 1980s is you cannot do this. You can't make the speeds up what they go. We've seen it at Hill Air Force Base. You Fed guys know. You Feds are watching. You know the truth about Hill Air Force Base. 1980, maybe 1990, you had your F-16s fly out of Hill Air Force Base over Alpine, Utah. You guys know the truth. Me and my cousin seen you guys chasing one of those things that zigzagged back in the sky, and then your F-16s came over the point of the mountain south over from Salt Lake Valley, Ogden, where the Hill Air Force Base. You guys chased that flying saucer, that UFO. I seen it. They can't lie. They can't lie. They came in a V over the top of the mountains where the point of the mountain is, and they chased that thing, and when that thing took off, it zip back and forth. That took off to the east over the East Mountain of Alpine, Utah. They can't lie. They can't lie. They could not catch that damn thing, and they know it. You Fed guys, you got to remember these things. You lie to these people. Any of you guys watching, you're not your ancestors, and those guys that did that are gone. Start telling everybody the truth. For once, I think people overestimate how advanced ours are. We can barely understand how the tech works. I believe it. See, we never seen these orbs. Theory on the orbs. Here's my theory on the orbs, okay? Every 44 minutes they're receiving a signal. You can look it up. Every 44 minutes they're receiving radio waves. They're already getting microburst minutes. They're receiving communication the year I was born, 1974, they started sending communication up. They've been trying to communicate with these other alien beings and other galaxies since 1974. They have their answers. They've received their answers, everybody. It's in the news. Type in every 44 minutes radio waves being sent. They have the answers. They know they're here. My theory is that they're coming. I think that they got a hold of them and they don't know what to do. That's why Senator Kennedy was taking this gift 2 years ago and he said, lock your doors. It's on YouTube. And Senator Kennedy tells you to lock your doors. You do that and you'll see here Senator Kennedy. He's seen what they are. Lock your doors. Well, guess what, Senator Kennedy? They don't come they don't come through your doors. They got a code of some kind of, they don't do it. They do not come in your doors. They won't open your door. I don't know what it is, if it's a rule of engagement, but they don't open your doors. It's like a scary movie. They traveled millions of miles and they haven't figured out how to open up a wooden door. Yeah, that's the truth, Kennedy. They don't. I don't know why, unless they change their rules of engagement. Just like any of our special operations units would do. They have rules of engagement. They have a protocol. Anyway, thanks for showing up. I think Atlas is. Yeah. That's the answer to their work. This should already be first community, or this should already be like that show should have been First Contact. They've already made First Contact. This already happened, and people, they have the signals. They know what's coming on. It's called a transient object. Is sending a signal every 44 minutes. Type that in, every 44 minutes. I'm shaking. It's 35 degrees up here, and I'm in summer coats. I have this on for my bow. That's all I can do to defend myself and my bow inside the trailer. What am I doing out here? You think that trailer's going to save anybody? I ain't going to stop anything. Anyway, if anything happens tonight, I'll get back with you. Yeah, they'll rip this thing apart. Let's say Kelly. The roof ones here. Bad Daddy, that's what they do. They love getting on your roofs. I guess they want to play Santa Claus with you. And for some reason, they love heavy equipment. Angel Maytag, if you ever get this video, I just want to tell you something. I apologize, Angel. They were in Cedar City. They were west of Cedar City just when they crashed, bro. They were there. They weren't meant to crash in your backyard. They crashed. It wasn't your fault. You guys went out there armed like the Marine Corps. It isn't your, spit happens, bro. They crashed. You're going to be screwed up the rest of your life. They would have never even paid attention to you, Angel. You weren't their target. This has been going on for some of us since we were children. Thank God, Angel, they haven't decided to make you their target. Point them guns at them for a while. I think I shot one of them once. Just saying. Oh, Kurt, up on the mountain, bro. 10,000 feet, nobody around. The funny thing that Skizzle guy does this goofy stuff, and he's got a channel called Skizzle. He talked about these aliens barking, and then I heard a bark right over there last weekend. It wasn't like a dog bark either. It's kind of scary. Same night. Anyway, doing good. Just gonna freeze my butt off, but we're just talking. I'm gonna move my camp out west by the Nevada border tomorrow. That's the land of giants, bro. That's the Wendigo stuff. They're not related to Paiute. The Paiute told me that they were out. They said the things the Cedar Band Paiute friends of mine said they're the kids I grew up with said they're not bears that are out there. But I'm shaking like a dog, bro. Yeah, Angel Maytag. Hey, you gotta hang in there, bro. You gotta hang in there. I probably shot 2 of them in my life, maybe 3. Didn't know, I just fired on them in the middle of the night. 1980s and 90s. It wasn't my fault, it was their fault. They're the ones who were attacking us in the middle of the night. A long, long time ago. We were kids. Let me read the rest of this, Kurt. Where you at? Oh, Tennessee. Hey, Tennessee Choctaw. They're bad, Daddy. I'm a Tennessee Choctaw. That's where my great-great-grandmother, remember I'm 51, so I'm old. My great-great-grandmother was a Choctaw Chickasaw from Tennessee. And the funny thing is, in Arkansas, there was a people called the Chippewas. They weren't the Chippewas. That's for the native, that guy that messaged me about Russell Means. Anyway, I was told I was Chippewas by my grandma. She's a white lady from Richfield. Married that big Indian. And she said, you're Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Chippewa, Comanche, Apache. She called it Comanche Apache because he left when my mother and her sisters were young. My grandma shot him in the shoulder. He beat my Aunt Kathy to death because she didn't look Indian enough. And he thought that my grandma had an affair on her, with the white guy. And anyway, she said Chippewas, and I was like, Grandma, there's nothing that's a Chippewas. There's Chippewas. And I was like, what part of Oklahoma were they from? She said, I don't know. Jack moved here. She married Jack after he got out of the penitentiary. But that's out of Arkansas. There was they became extinct. They're called Chippewas. And they were in the northeast corner of Arkansas, right up by Tennessee. And they were wiped out by the Osage. They warred with the Osage people. And they said that they died they're actually a Michiganian tribe. They're from Michigan. But they died out in early 1800s. First the 1800s, they were exterminated. But they spoke a Michiganian dialect. And the Osage warred with them constantly. So, I'm freezing, man. Oh, man. Yeah, Fort Smith. That's pretty cool. Tennessee. There, bro, Tennessee. And now Susan, you understand that then. Then they moved the Cherokees. Southeastern Indiana. Yeah, right on, see? Michigan. Oh, shit. You guys heard that, did you? They make a clicking sound, too. I'm just talking about old people. Shut up. Come bug me now. Freezing my butt off doing a video. You guys want to come up here and mess with me. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. You guys, right? Tennessee and out of right there in Arkansas. And they moved the Cherokees. If you look up the history, you'll find out that they moved some Cherokees to the west side of Arkansas. And my great-grandpa was born in Arkansas, Berryville. And then they ran to Oklahoma, 1885, Indian Dawes Act. Senator Dawes took all the land and sold off all the excess lands to settlers. That's where we get the unceded Sioux Tree land from that happened with the Dapple protest. Oh, it's so cold. Freezing. Oh, shit. Yep, we're going inside. Yeah, there's something over there. Nope. There's something over there. Have you guys heard that? It made a clicking sound. Hang on. Okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna end this. It made a click before it did that, and it made a weird, like, I don't know if you guys all heard that, but it made a weird, I heard that click. It was just a clicking, like click, click. And then something moved over there. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go stay in the trailer and watch a video. I don't have a gun, everybody. I don't have a gun. No gun for Ricky tonight. If I had a gun, it would be different. But we're on a bow hunt. We don't have guns. There's no guns in this place. Yeah, Avy, you're not going outside. We're not going out. What do you do? No. That was weird, Deb. I don't know what that was. My wife doesn't. She got scared. Okay. Hey, take care, all of you. Thanks for watching, all of you. God bless. I don't know if I can even shut this off. How do you